One night
And we're back. It's day 5 of the whiskey calendar. And what are we tasting?
Well, before we get to that, need to do a little bit of explaining, because we got so excited about just jumping into the whiskey, so we've got a big new contingent. But first of all, I believe we finally have fixed our audio issues. So a couple cables have run, trying an external microphone here, you know, because we're going big time, right?
We are big time.
Mostly for Bill McClung, well, Billy, because he likes to complain about the sound. So hopefully this will work. So in the whiskey calendar, as we go through these 24 days, you know, we have the different, you know, the 8 of each. But the other thing inside of that is we try to do couple different levels of price, because, you know, some people just want to be in that $30 to $40 range. Some people, you know, like Zeb, are big money, and you know, if it's not at least $100 a bottle, you know, they're turning their nose up to it, and the pinky's not out. And one of the things that we did last year that we got away from, I guess you're just so excited, is to kind of tell you the price of each bottle. Now these are based on here in New England, where we can find them. So it may be a little bit different down by you. So just going back real quick. So day 1 we had,
I have no idea.
it was Iron Root.
Iron Root.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Iron Root is, I've seen it anywhere between $45, $50 up to $55 a bottle. Mostly in the Total Wines down in the Massachusetts, greater Boston area. So in day 2 we had
Deanston.
Yeah, so Deanston Virgin Oak, called entry level Scotch, no age statement, and that one was probably around $35 to $40. You can find that at New Hampshire liquor stores. You can probably find that around you if you have a liquor store with a decent Scotch collection. Deanston's pretty easy to find. And then day 3 we jumped over to
Roe & Co.
Yeah, look at you. Roe & Co.'s Irish. It's a blend. It's about $45. They don't have it. They might be carrying it in New Hampshire now. There's another Total Wine find down in the Massachusetts area. You know, that one, $45. You know, some people may love it. To me, it's just middle of the road, very friendly, nothing spectacular about it. I think for the price, you know, $35 probably for a Jameson, $35. I'd save the $10 and buy Jameson, because if you're gonna mix it, you might as well buy the cheaper one anyways. Yeah. And then yesterday we had
Evan Williams.
Yeah. So Evan Williams is an example of what I think is a great value in a bourbon. I believe it's 8 years old. It single barrel, so every bottle comes out of just one barrel, and then they move on to the next one. No blending, no mixing together. And that one we can find around here. I think it's $24.99 at the New Hampshire liquor stores, and I've seen it upwards of $30 down in Massachusetts and other places. You know, you go back a couple years ago, you could find Henry McKenna 10-year-old single barrel bottled in bond, and we'll get into all that later, for about $25 now. If you can find that under $50, you're lucky, because people have gone crazy.
Yeah.
So,
high in demand.
Yeah, so we'll try and remember to tell you a little bit about the price and where we found them, you know, here locally, if you want to find one that you really like and you want to go after it. Altogether, if we look at all 24 days of the Advent season, if you were to go out and buy all these bottles, you're probably going to drop about $1,300. So for the easy little price that we sold them at, you get $1,300 worth of. Yeah. You get a lot less.
You do.
But you get.
But it's going to a good cause. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So let's get into day 6. I don't know that we really started the timer, but can we keep it down back there? So those of you that don't know, up here in New England, we had a very big snowstorm, and the result of that is extended stay by the parental units, and they want to be here again with us, but we've asked them to please be quiet. All right, so we're actually on day 5.
Day 5.
All right, so what do we have today, Ann?
GlenKinchie?
No,
I don't know.
GlenKinchie.
GlenKinchie. I was close.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and grab it?
Yeah, sure. Do I get any hints?
It's on the Scotch shelf.
Oh, geez. That's supposed to be labeled.
It hasn't changed.
There's a K, but not the right one. I need to come down and study, I think. Do I get... Ooh! I found it!
All right, so GlenKinchie, when we talk about a classic Scotch, GlenKinchie would fall into that description. Oh, that was kind of weak after all that. Glass, please. So this is a 12-year-old single malt, and a couple days ago we talked about all the different regions of Scotland when it comes to whiskey. Could you go ahead and review those again with everybody?
No.
All right. So this is a Lowlands single malt Scotch, 12 years old, 43% alcohol by volume. Very light in color for a 12-year-old. So primarily just in bourbon casks would be my guess. On the nose.
Well, of course, it smells like wood, but...
Now we have the boiler.
All right.
We got it all going.
We
for you
do.
today.
That's
All right.
right.
So a little wood.
But I get a little bit of honey, or like a honeysuckle, a little bit, and that's it.
Get a little beeswax. You get beeswax? No.
No, I do.
And then just in the background, which is interesting for a lowland Scotch, I do get just the slightest hint. It's back in there to me, just a little bit of smoke.
Yeah, I can see that. Or smell that, I guess. I don't see it, yeah. I get a little bit of the, maybe it's because you said it, but a little bit of the waxy, like the candy, you know, the candy bottles that used to have that you bite the top off of when you were young and drink them. It's that.
Very healthy.
I know, but it's that kind of flavor.
I get pears. You get pears?
I don't
To
get
me,
pear.
it's kind of light,
Yeah, it is very light.
fruity, floral.
Yep.
Almost like a dessert wine, a dessert whiskey.
Yeah.
So after you have your big meaty whiskeys, you can drink this as a dessert whiskey. You know, the mouthfeel on this, it's not real oily to me. It's kind of just middle of the road.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good classic, kind of, not entry-level Scotch, but something to get started as you go a little bit deeper into Scotch. I mean, step up to me from Deanston, not hugely complicated, but I don't know, I like this one.
It is, and it's Scotch. Usually feel hot to me when I drink it, you know, spicier or hotter, and this one doesn't.
Yeah. Good. I mean, I just think it's a good, solid. If you're wanting to get into Scotch, if you've been a bourbon drinker, and you know you think all Scotches are that big, peaty, smoky Scotch, which most of them are not. Primarily, just the ones from Islay are going to be that big, meaty, smoky. This might be a good gateway if you find the Deanston, and then step up a notch. This one here, I've seen anywhere between 45 and probably 55 bucks. So for 12-year-old whiskey, not terribly expensive. I mean, it's not gonna knock your socks off, but I think it's a good one to have in the cabinet.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's a good after dinner drink to me.
All right.
All right.
Oh, last thing. We should have done this on the first episode. We gotta give a shout out to Laura and Bruce.
Yeah.
So Laura and Bruce were part of our inaugural, or I don't know, what's another good word for inaugural? Founding group.
Yeah, founding. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And they were our biggest customers. Not only did they place our first ever outside order, but they placed the most orders. So when Riley goes to college someday, It still won't be on the backs of Colonial whiskey, but it was a good effort. And to all the people who received a whiskey calendar from Bruce and Laura, cheers.
Cheers.